welcome again to what is the 27th week in review of the Barclays Premier League fixture. And really, the title race just just heated up a whole lot more in this week. So we'll dive right into things where at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea really did leave it late on through a John Terry 93rd minute goal to beat Everton 1-0. And the hosts did start off brightly, and they had prolonged spells in possession and were just gradually improving prior to the half time. However, the Toffees just refused to lie down, as that has been the case over the past couple, ever since the start of the season, really. But very late on, a controversial Frank Lampard free kick found John Terry, who just kind of clattered into Tim Howe, and the ball just somehow fell over across the line and gave Jose Mourinho's men the 3 points, a lucky 3 points it must be said, but they still sit pretty on the top of the table. At the Emirates, it was an absolute rout as Arsenal defeated Sunderland 4-1 due to an Olivier Giroud brace and goals from Thomas Rosicky and Laurent Koscielny. Wenger's side made an absolutely great start, but that was only half the story, as Sunderland were very sloppy, sluggish, and Arsenal just controlled possession for basically the majority of the first half and second half, if you would have guessed so. They just controlled the game. They weren't really challenged. For Sunderland, the only shining light was the goal. Emmanuel Giaccherini had a nice strike, which is consolidation, really. But the way that Arsenal played weren't in really much trouble for most of the game, and was just capped off with the absolute brilliant Thomas Rosicky goal, similar to the one that Jack Wilshere scored against Norwich. But it makes Arsenal still sitting firmly and comfortably in second position, only 1 point off the lead. At the Cardiff City Stadium, it was Cardiff absolutely getting drubbed by Hull City 4-0 due to Huddleston goals from Huddleston, Liverpool, and Nikita Jelavic, a brace there. For Hull City, it was their third away win for the whole season, so they haven't been very good on the road, but they had plenty of pace on the counter-attack. This is Cardiff I'm switching to now, and they did look dangerous. However, Hull just went ahead, and Cardiff really had no response, and they weren't very impressive in trying to respond to them going down. But Hull just grew more in confidence and put through past David Marshall, and just gave Hull City all the 3 points there. At the Etihad Stadium, it was Manchester City again, leaving a very fine, defeating Stoke 1-0 thanks to a Yaya Toure goal. City enjoyed the better opening exchanges, really, but for Stoke City, Charlie Adam proved a threat from distance. He had a couple of long shots at Joe Hart's goal, but nothing that he couldn't save, and the hosts really pushed on the second half and tried to find a better way through Stoke City, who were very solid and compact, it must be said. But Yaya Toure ended up being the right place in the right time, latching onto the end of the ball and sweeping into the back of the net past Asmir Begovic, and giving Manchester City their first Premier League win in 3 matches, so getting them back on track into the title picture, and they only sit 2 points behind the lead. At the Hawthorns, it was West Brom and Fulham playing out a 1-1 draw there, but West Bromwich Albion really saved the point in this match. Fulham they actually missed their first win in 7 matches, so for Fulham fans and players, it doesn't get very much better or worse than this, really. But Fulham really dictated the play, to be honest, without creating too many chances. But West Bromwich Albion just mounted an impressive response, and just came out in the second half reinvigorated, and scored the goal through Vidra. I'm not 100% sure how you pronounce his name, but his late goal snatched a very important point for West Bromwich Albion. And as the ball sailed under Stecklenburg, who was bitterly disappointed to concede a goal, which means his club haven't won a game in the past 7 games. At Upton Park, it was West Ham versus Southampton, and it was West Ham defeating the Saints 3-1. The hosts really went ahead, I believe, in the first 8 minutes they went ahead and they trailed, within the first 8 minutes, and it was Carlton Cole's 50th Barclays Premier League goal that got their match back on track. And it was a confident start to the visitors against Southampton. Usually like to go to away fixtures and really set up defensively, but ensure that when they do play football, they expand and get crosses into the box. However, for West Ham, they did gain the ascendancy and took the lead, and really it just left Southampton shell-shocked as they conceded a couple of goals in a very short amount of space of time, and they just couldn't get back into the game. And once that happened, West Ham sat comfortably and picked up 3 points there. Stay in London, but just south at Selhurst Park was where Crystal Palace got defeated by Manchester United 2-0, thanks to a Van Persie penalty and a Wayne Rooney late on strike. It was Rooney's 12th goal in all competitions during this season, and makes Manchester United sit in 6th position. For Manchester United, they did enjoy the better opening, and with their array of attacking talent, it was just a bit unnerving for the Manchester United fans that they couldn't be able to find an opening relatively earlier than they had, because David Moyes' side just couldn't break down Crystal Palace. Obviously, Tony Pulis, is going to set up relatively defensively, but as I said before, Manchester United have got the attacking firepower, so it was just a matter of time, really. Van Persie basically scored from a penalty, and Rooney's goal inside the penalty area gave a nice victory to David Moyes, and a very, very vital and well-deserved 3 points there. On to Sunday's games. At the Carrow Road, it was a shock defeat for Tottenham Hotspurs. They went down to Norwich City 1-0, thanks to a Robert Snodgrass goal. For Norwich City, they had very few chances far in between in this game here. But Norwich came out of the blocks in the second half, absolutely reinvigorated, and it was Norwich's first win in 5 matches, and it was the first home win against Tottenham Hotspur since 1991. So again, a lot of trends have been broken this year, and this is just another bit of history being made by Norwich City this time. Both teams really tried hard at the end to score a goal, for Norwich to increase the lead and for Tottenham to get a point. But both goalkeepers came up with vital shot stops at the end to leave the score remaining at 1-0. The second last game was an absolute goal fest between Liverpool and Swansea City, as Liverpool defeated Swansea 4-3. Daniel Sturridge and Jordan Henderson scored scored braces each. For Daniel Sturridge, he's the second player only after Manchester United's Ruud van Nistelrooy to net in 8 consecutive Barclays Premier League fixtures. So Daniel Sturridge is really just a striker in form, and there's been a valuable asset for Liverpool Football Club. For Liverpool, they basically just went after Swansea City really very early on and scored within a couple of minutes due to, yes again, Daniel Sturridge. But either team were absolutely ferocious. The pace of the game was absolutely breathless and relentless. And Liverpool just ended up plucking the goal due to Jordan Henderson putting in the rebound from a Luis Suarez strike. And for Liverpool, they stay 4 points off the lead, and really just look like if this attack continues with the form Sturridge, Suarez, and the likes getting in, and Henderson as well, then they can really challenge for the title and just really cement their position in the top 4. And the final game taking place at St James's Park was between Newcastle and Aston Villa, where a late-on Loic Remy goal sealed it for the home side. The game started very well for Newcastle United. They played quite good football again. Aston Villa was always set up for the counter-attack, so they were a continuous threat. But it was nothing that Newcastle couldn't cope with. I mean, I have been worrying for Newcastle's sake that they have missed the creativity of the likes of Johan Cabarro, who was sold, and I was just wondering whether or not they would drop silly points here and there, because they just don't have that creativity in the final third. But enter Loic Remy, who came in from a 3-match ban, and he was the difference maker. He was the goal scorer, and he was just the guy that Newcastle could put the ball at his feet, as Luke de Jong did, and he could create something out of nothing, which he did. So that is the review of the 27th week in the Premier League. It was an absolute cracking week, but as always, it is in the Premier League. It only is going to get better, and stay tuned for in a couple of days' time. I will be making my first UEFA Champions League round of 16 leg 1 review video. So stay tuned for that. Should be very good, and I'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.